welcome to Front Porch Crazy. Come on up on the porch and grab you something cold to drink.
Hey, Big D. I had a time finding your Front Porch podcast, and all the things I found, oh, they will curl your toes, boy. I tell you what. I found churchy things, I found sketchy things, I found nudie things, and I don't know what all, but it's all happening on a porch somewhere. I've almost found myself with the girl in the swing on her porch, and all I know is I sure am glad I found you.
Well, I'm glad you finally found it too, Bobby Ray. Remember, it's Front Porch Crazy, and you can find it on iTunes and most podcasting services.
Well, I knows that now. They've got me so confused, I'm afraid to look at another porch, I tell you what.
Well, we do have a porch swing.
Oh, no. This is one of them trapeze things. I just gonna think of moo cows and forget I ever saw it. Bah!
Bobby Ray, that's a sheep.
It's what she said, I tell you what.
Hey, I got that COVID vaccine a couple of weeks ago. You gonna get it?
Well, not me,
No better than to ask, but why not, Bobby Ray?
'Cause it's just a way for big government Microsoft to track us.
Oh, boy.
No, it's true. They got nanobots in them shots, and it gets up in your bloodstream and sends signals back to them satellites that SpaceX has on their internet.
You sure aliens aren't doing it? 'Cause I bet if they probed your head, they couldn't find your brain.
Oh, don't get me started on the probing.
What?
No, it's true. They can switch off your motor functions anytime they want to probe you and hook you up to machines to download new memories and experiences. And they program you to be a model citizen, like vegetarian food, and get all excited about that Big Brother show, which is pretty telling in itself.
I'm thinking that's probably the Total Recall movie that you watched down at the Dollar Theater.
That's what they want you to think. See, the underground resistance movement puts out the truth and disguises them as movies, so the government won't be wise to it.
Hey, if you wear a cap that you got with the tinfoil liner, I bet you can get your shot and neutralize all those nanobots.
You think so?
You bet. And you can get back to the league play at the Bolorama.
Well, sign me up.
Well, okay.
You know, I was up at the Wally World and got me a pair of them real tree fishing shorts. I can't figure out which pocket to put fish in, and how much water to put in with them.
I don't think that's what they're for.
Oh, I'll figure something out. It's got all them pockets, you see, and now you have to be careful which pocket you reach into so you don't pull out the wrong red wigglers, if you know what I mean.
It could be awkward.
I know, right? Believe me, I can tell you from personal experience. Hey, speaking of fishy things, I had me an encounter with that there Cedar Creek Lake ghost.
I think you mean the ghost from White Rock Lake.
Well, if she is, she sure gets around. But no, she's the Cedar Creek Lake ghost, this one. Here was a girl in a pair of Daisy Mae's waving me down in back at the beer barn. She was a cute redhead with all the accoutrements in the right place, if you know what I mean. Well, she said she forgot her ice chest and her truck wouldn't start, so would I mind giving her a ride over to her trailer, just so to get her ice chest and all? So I thought I'd go ahead and do that. I mean, what's the harm, right? You see, I'd be her knight in shiny amour. Well, she climbed on in the back of my pickup. You know, I got that King Ranch edition with the crew cab and the seat massaging vibromators, and
just get to the story.
Well, she climbed on in and was looking so good back there. Oh, yes, she did. And but she got pretty quiet the whole time, and I don't know why, but she did tell me where to go there. I kept looking in my rearview mirror at her in the back seat to check on her, and she kind of had a tear in her eye. Well, that's probably because she'd been eating those jalapeno poppers, and you know how it makes you just tear up? Well, that's what it always does to me, anyway. I kind of call them jalapeno poopers for oblivious reasons. I tell you what. Well, we drove for a little while, and I noticed I was breathing out kind of foggy-like, and it was like, you know, it was below freezing in the truck. But I only had the climation control set down to 63, so I knew it wasn't that, and it was 102 outside. Well, I looked in my mirror to check her again and noticed it had frost crystals all around it.
That's getting kind of creepy.
Yeah, but I figured she needed a friend, and that cooler wasn't going to get itself, so I kept on driving. She told me to turn in between the big oak and the twin magnolias. You know, I dated a couple of twins one time, and
just stick to the story.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, I turned in between those trees and saw her 2-story double wide, and it was a doozy. All kind of Bourbon Streety, New Orleanian style, with wrought iron work and a balcony for throwing beads, if you know what I mean. And I saw that big old Yeti cooler sitting on her porch right where she left it. So I pulled on up. I told her I'd be right back with it. I got out to go get the cooler, and I saw there's moss hanging from the trees, and there was a thick fog rolling in from the lake, so I couldn't even see my feet. I got up to the cooler, and there was these full wrap packages with smoked brisket and taters. Oh, it smelled so good. I didn't blame her for being all upset about leaving them goodies. I reached down to pick 'em up and heard a lady neighbor yelling out. She said, "What was I doing at the old McCullough house?" Well, I turned around and yelled back I was just picking up ice chest and goodies for Debbie. See, that was the girl's name in the Daisy Mae's. She told me about that when we was traveling on back over to her place. But anyway, I told her I was picking that stuff up for Debbie to take back to the party. But the lady yelled back that little Debbie had drowned because she was wearing no life jacket on that party boat. 20 years ago. I mean to tell you, 20 years ago. Oh, what was that girl smoking? Well, I just figured that woman was a nut job, so I turned back around to get the cooler and stuff. But it weren't there. It boggled my mind. So I headed back to the truck to tell Debbie about the cooler missing, and this time the misty fog had gotten up to eye level, and I almost couldn't see the pick-em-up truck. It was just like with every step was harder and harder to make, almost like I was walking through a stock tank mud, with my boots sucking down further and further with each step. Just... Well, finally I made it back and knocked on the back door window for Debbie to roll it down, but she never did. So I opened the door, and she had vanished. Only thing left was a puddle of water on the seat and an iced-over bottle of beer.
Well, what'd you do?
I drank it.
Oh, Bobby Ray.
Well, I wasn't going to waste that now, was I? Today's episode is brought to you by Ben's Bait and Tackle for the freshest sushi in town. Our boat buddy platter is like having a Japanese geisha give you a back rub while bennying your hana.
Well, that wraps it up for this week. Y'all join us up again next time on Front Porch Crazies. Thank y'all for coming by.
Front Porch Crazy and its characters were created and performed by Michael Sessoms. Be sure to like our podcast and come back again next week for more crazy stories. See you then.